Hi guys, welcome back to Finpact. Today I want to talk about why Palantir Technologies is going to be a 30x investment in the long term. Palantir Technologies is a data science software company. In an era where we live, where businesses really depend on data as the driving mechanism behind the decisions they execute in the business, behind what sales they make, which customers they target, which sectors, which segments they target. Data is so important to them. Data is like the new oil. It is so valuable to companies in looking at market data, looking at what their customers want, having that data to execute decisions in a certain way, formulate products based on what the market wants. There's so many uses to data, to say the least. According to IBM, 90% of the world's entire data has been generated in the last 2 years. And Palantir went public only in September. And the product offerings that Palantir offer are on 3 platforms, and these include the following: Palantir Gotham, Palantir Foundry, and Palantir Apollo. So they build data fusion platforms to integrate, manage, and secure lots of data. And this can be done at a massive scale. And what they allow on these platforms is the ability for businesses, governments, users of these platforms to customize it and layer applications and the interface to make it interactive, to decide, I as a business want to see my customer base. I want to see the data that I have collected from, I don't know, maybe a customer's spending history. Anything that they can collect data on, they can use. A business or a government can tailor that to what will be beneficial for them to use that data for. So Palantir Gotham, I think I said Gotham earlier, ignore me, allows people to integrate, manage, and secure and analyze the data. Kind of a bit like Salesforce. In fact, people are comparing Palantir in being the next Salesforce. Then they have Palantir Foundry, which is further amplifying the data integration. And then they have Palantir Apollo, which is basically the software as a service. As an example, Salesforce is also a software as a service product. Palantir is also a private government, intelligence, and military contractor with a technology edge. So they earn their revenues both from a commercial aspect, but also from a government aspect. So when we look at the financial statements, it's key to see that they have 2 revenue sources. Now, these 2 revenue sources, there was a concern that more than half of their revenue was from the government side. And that is a bit of a risk when it comes to diversification of a company's revenue. What if one government stops a contract with them and therefore they see their revenues suddenly fall? So they have been in the efforts of a commercialization push and they have seen the rewards. Their commercial revenues have been increasing. After Palantir stocks got listed at $10 per share around September 2020, the price absolutely surged around the end of January to around just over $30. And now the price has slowed down and shown a slump to a low we saw of $18, but now we are steadily increasing to the upside. I believe this was the initial excitement around the Palantir Technologies hype. Now I do want to talk about one thing about the price. Palantir Technologies price shouldn't matter if you're a long-term investor. Palantir Technologies is trying to revolutionize the AI data analytics sector. And even the CEO himself has said he would rather we didn't buy Palantir if it was just for a short-term investment. Now, the Palantir price right now, I believe, has stabilized and could be a good opportunity to buy. This is not financial advice, so I do believe you should do your own research. This is just my personal opinion. In fact, the CEO of Palantir, Alex Karp, has said that Palantir Technology should not be a short-term investment. He said that Wall Street basically has a destructive and corrosive short-term focus. And he heavily criticized how people are trying to get into it for just short-term gains. I personally am holding Palantir for the long term in my portfolio. I bought it around November time. In fact, they also have a fantastic team. Peter Thiel is a co-founder and he is also a founder of PayPal. So that is a fantastic track record that he has. Alex Karp, who is the CEO, and he rightly said, we told Wall Streeters that we will focus on building the long-term health of our company, that we are going to invest in our product development and in our clients, and you just have to battle it out with them. He also went on to say that Wall Street remains one of the most destructive, corrosive attributes of an otherwise interesting and largely functioning system. So what they're trying to say is that the goal of Palantir is not to be your quick meme stock, your quick trade. It is someone that you would invest in for the long run. Palantir is someone who wants to be the future of data. But if you want to invest in a company that is curating cutting edge technology right now, that is developing it and integrating it further in the whole data world, then this is the company that would be a long-term investment. Palantir, however, is proving their ability in the data sector, and they have been able to successfully secure government contracts. As you can see here are some of their contracts that they have successfully secured with the US government. But Palantir is also been able to help the private sector. Pharmaceutical companies have been using Palantir to discover new medicines. Bankers and insurers are turning to Palantir to stop security breaches. Automotive manufacturers are using Palantir to detect quality control issues. And aviation companies have been going to Palantir to simplify their supply chains, save costs and time, because the data management tools that Palantir offers allows them to do so. The share price has been very volatile, as we have seen, but this is quite common with newly traded stocks. Even though this stock has been around since last September, it's still considered a newly traded stock. And newly traded stocks are quite volatile because they're more speculated on, even if the fundamentals behind what the company is trying to achieve is very good. So it's important to look at the earnings in a different way when it comes to a tech growth stock, because companies like Palantir are actually reinvesting a lot of their profits back in. They're spending heavily to ensure there's growth now, and this can sometimes be translated as a loss in their income statements. So let's have a look at their company's earning reports for this quarter. Total revenue has increased by 49% year over year to $341 million. US commercial revenue grew 72% year over year, and then US government revenue also increased. It increased by 83% year over year. There was also an increase in gross profit. It was around $267 million compared to $165 million in the previous year. Now, their net loss was greater than it was in the previous year at $123.5 million of a loss, and it was around $54.3 million in the previous year. Also, these statements are for the quarterly earnings, so this is comparing the 3 months ended March 31st for both 2021 and 2020. Also, the cash flow from operations is around $117 million, and this is up over $404 million year over year. So now they're making a positive net cash flow from operating activities. If you see on their cash flow statement, it was an outflow of $287.184 million in the previous year, and now it is a positive inflow of $116.9 million, which is great news. And just touching upon the balance sheet, we saw their cash increase slightly, and their total assets have also increased as well, but their total liabilities have also increased in line with the increase in total assets, but nothing too concerning. So Palantir Technologies had a record-breaking Q1. They had a 44% adjusted free cash flow margin. They had an increase in free cash flow, which is now $151 million. So that is a healthy amount. It's no longer a loss. And this is an increase of $441 million from the previous year's quarter one. They've had a 248% increase in billings. And this was what's key. Their diversification into growing their commercial deals have also grown. Their duration-adjusted commercial deal value grew by 76% since last year, and their total US revenue also grew by 81%. I believe that AI and data are going to be the largest technological disruptions in the world, and this will heavily impact the stock market. And those companies that are positioning itself to provide these disruptions and provide these services in these industries, such as Palantir, are going to be revolutionizing things like this. Apollo for Edge AI is enabling the US government to operationalize AI at a scale, upgrade the software, the sensor, the effects chain. Then they've also been applying those same innovations in the commercial sector, where they've been having AI models on factory floors, detecting on-land risks from space and enabling predictive maintenance at the edge. Like we have Tesla trying to go into space with SpaceX, we have Palantir providing with the data analytics software that can help facilitate that in a safe manner as well. So we can see a lot of these integrations that Palantir can have with all different sectors. It seems like they are streamlining and making more efficient the development phases for lots of different industries. For example, Lilium is a revolutionary eVTOL transportation company, and it will use Foundry, so that was one of the 3 platforms that Palantir offers, to connect, design, engineer, procurement, testing, production, quality, logistics, and in-service operations. And we also have Sarcos using Foundry for the industrials and manufacturing, and infusing Apollo for that edge AI into their exoskeletons. So that is a robotics company that actually Palantir has also invested in. So Sarcos Robotics plans SPAC deal for 1.3 billion value. It is clear that innovation is important for Palantir. They are deeply investing in Western innovation. Now, companies that focus on innovation usually require a lot of research and development and therefore investment in R&D. Usually the returns from that investment in R&D is seen later when breakthroughs are made, when patents are secured. So if you are investing in Palantir, it would be crucial to look at it from the long-term perspective, because innovation by nature is a long-term concept, especially when it takes years in research and development for scientists to create this cutting-edge technology. These innovations can be applied in the existing sectors in the world, from industrials, automotives, retail sector, all kinds of sectors, governments, to also those futuristic sectors like robotics. So by nature, Palantir is one that should be considered for the long term and not be trading the volatility, especially given that it's such a new company. And also having such a fantastic team, like having Alex Karp and having Peter Thiel, the co-founder of PayPal, driving Palantir, I believe that we can see some seriously good things happening in Palantir's future, which is why I believe that Palantir could reach a $1 trillion market cap, which could be around a 25 to 30x return from where we are on now. But I don't think this is going to happen anytime soon, because what they're trying to achieve will take years for things to establish. And as those different establishments and discoveries happen, we will see different price rallies in the stock price. We have some positive articles on tip ranks where we have Palantir strengthening ties with the US Space Force, Palantir dominating the data field, and this one where Palantir Technologies wins United States Special Operations contract worth $111 million. And we have a new piece of bullish news where Palantir and Grupo Globo extend digital transformation partnership. So Grupo Global is Latin America's largest media company and relies on Palantir Foundry to harness data across its multi-channel products and enhance connections with its daily audience of 100 million viewers. So that is fantastic. We have seen some negative news where Cathie Wood's ARK Invest sold some of their shares in Palantir. I don't think this is anything concerning, because this was only a small part of the total holdings of the ARK Invest portfolio, and Palantir is more of a long-term investment. We don't know why they sold. It could be because they wanted a short-term profit and maybe invest in Palantir later. You never know the rationale behind fund managers when they are buying and selling things. You know, we can only speculate. So I don't think it's anything concerning or anything to do with the actual fundamental potential behind Palantir. So guys, what do you guys think of Palantir Technologies? I hope you enjoyed this video. I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments below, and also hit that like button and that subscribe button so that we can help push this video out. And I also have a Patreon link down below where you can see the trades and investments I make in real time for my own portfolio. You get a lot of support from me directly and one-on-one phone calls with me depending on which tier you select. So definitely check that out. I also have a link down below for Webull where you get 2 free stocks when you invest and when you sign up and deposit your first $100, and those 2 free stocks can be worth up to $2,000, which is an insane deal. So anyway guys, I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Thank you guys for watching. Bye!